Your top stories this evening sponsored by courts, bringing value home. Dossier handed over to the court in the AZRUDDIN and NAZAR MOHAMED extradition hearing. Fallen heroes remembered. President calls for global unity in defense of peace. Guyana is not the place for drug trafficking business, says Home Affairs Minister ONEIDGE WALROND. Plight facing industry PLAISANCE market vendors to be addressed very shortly, says Minister MANICKCHAND. And in sport, hosts New Zealand lead West Indies 2-1 in 5-match T20 series. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Monday, November 10 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. As the prosecution moves to strengthen its case in the Mohamed's extradition request hearing, a stack of documents was handed over to the court and the trial could begin shortly. Here is more. Embattled leader and member of parliament of the We Invest in Nationhood political party, AZRUDDIN Mohamed, and his father, Nazar Mohamed, continue to fight an extradition request filed by the United States in Guyana's magistrates' court. The trial in the matter could begin before the end of November. The father and son appeared in court on Monday morning and were ordered to return on November 24. During the hearing, U.S. hired attorney-at-law Terrence Williams submitted a number of important documents to the court.
You want to do regular diplomatic documents and case evidence documents, which are standard in an extradition match.
And how will that aid you in your position to advance before the court?
It's all part of the process. It's a regular standard work today.
Meanwhile, defense attorney senior counsel Roysdale Ford was asked whether any documents linking the Mohameds to alleged underworld activities in Venezuela and the Middle East, as suggested by the prosecution, were presented in court.
We're asking the prosecutors to reveal all the documents that they have in their possession, which will be related to this matter. We have no idea what they have in their possession. That's part of the prosecutorial function to make full and frank disclosure. But we would have no idea what they have in their possession.
In terms of the documents submitted today, have you seen any reference to these allegations about connections to Venezuela and the Middle East?
Absolutely none. Absolutely none.
The father and son, who were indicted by a federal court in Florida, face up to 20 years in prison on charges including mail fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering connected to their gold export business. Both men remain on $150,000 bail each following their arrest on October 31. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. President Irfan Ali led Guyana's Remembrance Day observance on Sunday, honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the cause of peace and freedom. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Brave in the rain on Sunday, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Irfan Ali, led the nation in the solemn observance of Remembrance Day at the War Memorial Cenotaph in Georgetown, where he called for global unity in the defense of peace. The President, in his remarks, invoked the legacy of those who perished, urging that their courage and selflessness continue to inspire nations as they confront aggression, oppression, and inequality.
We are indebted forever to them for their supreme sacrifice in the cause of peace and freedom. We recall with eternal gratitude those who have made similar personal sacrifices in the continuing struggle for human dignity, liberty, equity, and social justice.
President Ali also paid tribute to the men and women currently serving, acknowledging their role in safeguarding Guyana's sovereignty and preserving national peace.
We thank them. We salute them. We are encouraged by their example to strengthen our resolve to preserve the peace within our borders and also to keep this peace for generations to come.
He further recognized the global leaders who uphold democracy, justice, and liberty, commending their efforts towards building a just and peaceful world.
To protect our next generation and allow them to grow in a world of honor, freedom, and dignity.
Held annually on the second Sunday of November, Remembrance Day honors the brave men and women who gave their lives in service during the First and Second World Wars. The morning's proceedings featured ceremonial military parade, followed by the laying of wreaths led by President Ali. Government officials, members of the diplomatic corps, and heads of the joint services also participated, paying tribute to the fallen whose sacrifice laid the foundation for Guyana's freedom. Tiana Co reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
After witnessing the destruction of more than $1 billion worth of various kinds of narcotics, drug traffickers have been put on notice by Minister of Home Affairs ONEIDGE WALROND that Guyana is not the place for you to do business. You'll have more details in this report. Even though Guyana remains a known transshipment point for the movement of drugs from South America to the United States and Europe, Home Affairs Minister ONEIDGE WALROND is making it clear that Guyana will not be used as a hub for drug traffickers to continue their illicit trade. The minister made the statement after witnessing the destruction of several categories of drugs by the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit on Homestretch Avenue over the weekend.
What it does is sends a very strong signal to traffickers, because these most of the drugs are meant for transshipment, that Guyana is not the place to make this kind of investment.
Minister WALROND stressed that the destruction of the drugs demonstrates government's firm commitment to ensuring Guyana is not a transit point for illegal narcotics.
When they see this is hundreds of millions of dollars going up in smoke, literally. And so it sends that clear message that Guyana is very serious about our country being used as a transit shipment point, and we will seize and destroy your drugs, and what drug traffickers will consider a great investment that is going up in flames.
Nightly News understands from both Minister WALROND and Head of KANU James Singh that the destruction of over US $19.3 million worth of narcotics followed the completion of several court cases. Singh explained that despite Guyana's porous borders, KANU remains steadfast in its efforts to combat drug trafficking.
I would say that this is a clear indication that with the support of the government, both the police and KANU are continuing to fulfill its mandate. And the fact that we have not seen seizures outside of Guyana is a demonstration that what we're doing is effective.
He added that most of the drugs destroyed were indeed destined for Europe, West Africa, and parts of the Caribbean. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Aubrey Norton, believes that government must take full responsibility for the lawlessness and corruption existing in today's society. Marvin Cato will tell you more.
You know what signal that sends to other persons in the PPP? Thief, forge, rob. Once you are part of us, we will protect you.
That was leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Aubrey Norton, who believes that the government is responsible for the lawlessness in the society.
PPP sends the signals to their members and supporters that we will protect you when you violate the law.
He was addressing the press at their last press conference when he made reference to an ongoing issue that is clouded in secrecy and intrigue.
There's a man from Lindman named Kevin Lorimer, who a magistrate sentenced for fraud
9 months,
and is being protected by the PPP.
Kevin Lorimer was on June 19, 2025, found guilty in absentia by Magistrate Rochelle Liverpool at the Linden Magistrates Court. He was charged with the offense of obtaining money by false pretense. The charge stated that between September 1 and November 8, 2024, at Mackenzie Linden in the Upper Demerara River Ministerial District, with intent to defraud, he obtained $500,000 from Ramlochan Narayan by falsely pretending that he was in a position to obtain a land title.
So far, has not been given to the prison service to serve his term.
Norton believes that what has followed since is deeply troubling. Reports across social media outlets confirm that, despite his conviction and arrest, Lerma has not spent a single day in prison. Instead, he has remained in police custody for weeks, shuttled between stations and hospitals under police guard, yet never committed to the Guyana Prison Service to serve his lawful sentence. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
On HGP Nightly News, we tell you now that the 6-year-old girl who was killed when a bomb was detonated at the Mobile gas station on October 26, 2025, was laid to rest on Sunday. Mourners remember 6-year-old Soraya Bourne as simply a beautiful little girl full of energy. The funeral service was held at the Heavenly Light World Outreach Fellowship Church, Cooper Street, All Boys Town. It was attended by Home Affairs Minister ONEIDGE WALROND and several other parliamentarians from the opposition. The attack claimed the life of Soraya Bourne and left several of her relatives and others injured. Those relatives still are hospitalized. 4 Venezuelan nationals and 3 Guyanese who were arrested in connection with the October 26 bombing at the gas station have been charged with terrorism and aiding and abetting. This is the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead. Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. A new upskilling platform in collaboration with DOSSIER was on Monday launched with the aim of giving public servants across Guyana an edge in accessing world-class training programs. Tiana Cole will tell you more.
The government of Guyana has taken major steps to modernize and strengthen its public service. On Monday, the Ministry of Public Service, Government Efficiency and Implementation, in partnership with DOSSIER, launched a national upskilling platform. The initiative is designed to build capacity and enhance professional development across the public service through targeted training programs. Minister of Public Service, Government Efficiency and Implementation, Zulfikar Ali, said the world is changing rapidly and countries like Guyana must adapt to risk being left behind.
The culture of public service, and indeed public servants, must change. We must be nimble. We must be ready to adapt to the latest trends, to capitalize on the technologies in front of us, to not only serve the people of Guyana in a dignified and respectable manner, but also to make our own jobs easier.
He emphasized that the initiative demonstrates government's strong commitment to human capital development.
We need new skills across the board. With this platform, you can master key critical skills to become more effective in your daily work.
Meanwhile, President Irfan Ali, in delivering the feature address, said the government is focused on building the best public service and equipping public servants for the future.
We are building the human capital that will ignite the future of Guyana.
President Ali added that the program will prepare public servants not only for local responsibilities, but also for global opportunities. He noted that the initiative will serve as a foundational pillar of the new modern public service being developed.
This new age that DOSSIER platform is going to help us to advance to will remove biases in the system, improve customer satisfaction, enhance reliability, and advance equity.
The program, developed in collaboration with DOSSIER, gives every public servant access to over 100 carefully curated courses to aid them in becoming model public servants. Available courses include customer service, project management, technical writing, managerial training, data analysis, website development, Excel, beginner to advanced, and beginner Spanish. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
President Irfan Ali has set strict deadlines for the full digitization of government systems, including the National Insurance Scheme, as part of efforts to modernize the public sector. Tiana Cole will tell you more.
President Irfan Ali on Monday announced a series of new digitization targets aimed at improving efficiency across government ministries and agencies. The announcement was made during the launch of the Public Service Upskilling Platform.
So I've given the Minister of Finance a direction that within 8 months, NIS must be the records must be fully digitized.
The president also directed that all human resource records within the public service be digitized within 5 months. This includes files, personal records, and other key administrative documents.
If we have in every ministry 10 persons who are experienced in digitizing documents, then in the public service we already have about 300 persons who are experienced in digitizing documents. Bring all 300 of them in a projectized way and let us clean the system up.
The head of state further highlighted the importance of integrating digital tools within the agricultural sector. He revealed that very soon farmers will gain access to new technologies and platforms designed to improve productivity.
In 4 months, the farmers must be able to use the tool we've been investing in to access education in the field, to access real-time information in the field, to access weather in the field, to access extension support in the field, and to access technology in the field.
President Ali also expressed concern that some officials continue to hinder the effective implementation of the single window system, despite extensive training.
There is resistance because we have found something deep. So they have 2 months to ensure that the single window is working not only optimally, but as was designed. And if it doesn't happen, then people may have other priorities that they have an interest in, and we'll give them a chance to explore the other priorities.
Tiana Co reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Priya MANICKCHAND has assured vendors of the industry PLAISANCE market that their plight will very soon be addressed after months of unsanitary conditions and constant flooding of the market, which has resulted in significant losses at the facility. On Sunday morning, in the drizzling rain, Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Priya MANICKCHAND visited the deplorable industry PLAISANCE market and interacted with itinerant and permanent vendors in an effort to ascertain their challenges.
So why are you not in the market?
I don't have to stand in the market.
Right. So you come out on Sundays alone?
Yeah.
So you're what we call the itinerant vendor. So that's why we got to look at how we get into the market. Because of the rain.
Many vendors inside the market lamented the poor toilet facilities, non-running water, overflowing drains, which have resulted in the flooding of the market and poor maintenance of the facility.
The morning when we came, all the garbage was floating in. What the cleaner did, they came, she hurriedly come and tried to pick up what was floating. None of the cleaner, nobody helped us to remove the water. Ourselves and vendors did that. We got pumps and everything.
The vendor also accused the Industry PLAISANCE Neighborhood Democratic Council of abdicating their duties, especially when incidents are reported. Recently, the market was flooded due to the construction of a culvert, which was reportedly clogged to facilitate these works. One vendor lamented that due to the unresponsiveness of the NDC, he took it upon himself to secure a pump to drain the flood waters from the market.
Since September this work starts, and the cocoa, the men block up the place to do the work, and they didn't clear back the cocoa. So when the rain fall on Thursday, this whole place is full. The council, them, whoever running the market, they never send a staff for help flood to build.
All right, so let's deal with that.
2 more pumps to take all the water out of here.
Minister MANICKCHAND noted that no vendor must endure such inconvenience.
Contractor was supposed to have somebody out there to pump the water, but instead that wasn't the case.
Yeah, so that's a disconnect. If somebody is doing something in the area, the NDC has to know, the region has to know, and that's something we have to fix.
Vendors at the fifth section also lamented the unsanitary conditions. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News. Thank you, Antonio, for your reporting. Stay with us. There is more news ahead. Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. Leader of the People's National Congress Reform has made a bombshell revelation regarding discussions surrounding the appointments of a substantive Chancellor of the Judiciary and Chief Justice with President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Winston Anderson. Marvin Cato reports.
I started to talk to him. I made the assumption that he knows my position in supersession, and therefore he was engaging in that context. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and I ended it.
That was Aubrey Norton, leader of the People's National Congress Reform and the Partnership for National Unity, who revealed the contents of a conversation on Guyana's outstanding judicial appointments with President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Winston Anderson, when pressed by the media.
I made it very clear in that meeting that I'm opposed to supersession of any kind, including superseding Cummins.
Almost 2 weeks ago, Norton revealed when pressed by the media that there was an interlocutor acting on behalf of the president, and pundits are surprised at the revelation on the identity of that person.
I would say, as a party, we were in the forefront of pushing for the CCG. But when actions like these and some that occurred during the election, it raises questions about the credibility of the CCG.
It was recently revealed that leader of the Vigilant Political Action Committee, VPAC, Dorwin Bess, wrote to the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission and the Guyana Bar Association on the conduct of the president of the CCG. In his letter, he listed the conflict of interest the Anderson's decision posed.
I would say to you that this last set of engagement raised serious concerns about the impartiality of the Caribbean Court of Justice. I will never see them in the same light that I saw them at the inception of its establishment.
Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
You will hear in this story now that the government must be held accountable for the many failed projects across the country, so says newly sworn-in Member of Parliament Vince Roy Jordan. Antonio Day has more.
Vince Roy Jordan, the Shadow Minister of Agriculture, believes the time has come for the government to read the right act. Those contractors who fail to execute projects within the stipulated deadline, especially pump stations. Jordan was speaking along the context of several incomplete pump stations, particularly the Bellevue, Port Join and A-Line, which to date has failed to meet its contractual obligations.
The government is 100% responsible for those corrupt acts and the incompetence, because they continue to put the people who are incompetent and corrupt in position to manage the resources and entities of this country.
The government of Guyana is still to uncover $121.7 million from Tipui Group Inc., a company owned by social media commentator Michael Rodriguez, also known as the Guyanese Critic, for the termination of the controversial Bellevue Pump Station contract. According to the Auditor General's 2024 report, the $865.5 million contract was terminated after Tipui failed to meet its obligations. Of the $160.8 million disbursed to the company, only $8.11 million has been repaid, leaving a balance of $552.7 million still outstanding as of September 2025. The construction of the Pojoin Pump Station by Spectre Incorporated was also slated for completion in July of 2025. But according to the Auditor General, the project is still continuing without requisite financial bonds. According to Jordan, if the government is not prepared to act and hold officers within the ministries and wider public service accountable for the dismal performance, then the government is corrupt, he alleged.
The government is to be blamed 100% for the failure in other areas whereby you had, according to the Auditor General's report, monies that were paid out in excess of $130 million, and the government failed to recoup any of those monies.
The Member of Parliament is lobbying for a new CEO at the helm of the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA. He noted that the entity's administration lacks proper oversight for the billions of dollars budgeted for key projects relating to drainage and irrigation.
I believe what should happen at NDIA is that we should have a CEO who is competent, a CEO who is prepared to manage the entity, and by far is knowledgeable of that entity.
Jordan said that the Auditor General's report is a clear indication that entities such as NDIA needs to be more efficient and proficient. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Your regional news is up next.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. At least 30 people have been killed in Haiti and more than 1.5 million people affected in Jamaica by Hurricane Melissa, according to a UN spokesperson. In Jamaica, infrastructure has been severely damaged with more than 130 roads blocked and power and communication networks disrupted. Farhan Haq, deputy spokesperson for the United Nations Secretary General. Health services are under heavy strain since several hospitals and clinics were damaged or destroyed, prompting the deployment of an emergency medical team from the Pan American Health Organization, he said. Hack said the World Food Program, WFP, estimated that up to 360,000 people may require food assistance in Jamaica. A UN disaster assessment and coordination team is coordinating assistance teams and aid arriving in support of the Jamaican government, he said. In Haiti, Hack said that the United Nations and its partners continue to carry out assessments of the damage caused by Hurricane Melissa and are ramping up efforts to reach people in need. Multiple U.S. military drones appeared to have flown above and around Trinidad and Tobago last month, some within mere miles of the Venezuelan coast, and at least one in the skies directly over the Twin Island state. The locations show about 15 instances where at least 4 such drones, presumed to be MQ-9A Reapers, are believed to have traveled within TT airspace over the country's territory, at times nearing the maritime border it shares with Venezuela. It also includes at least 2 instances where drones were detected flying northwest of Trinidad, just off Venezuela's state. MQ-9A drones are remotely piloted aircraft, RPA, which according to the U.S. Air Force are typically used against dynamic execution targets and as an intelligence collection asset, with a significant loiter time, wide-range sensors, multi-mode communication suite, and precision weapons. The governor of Rio de Janeiro has touted the deadliest police raid in Brazilian history as a success, but none of the 117 people killed by police were among the 69 suspects named by prosecutors in the complaint, providing the basis for the raid. Only 5 of those names in the criminal complaint were arrested that day, and none were senior leaders of the notorious Commando Vermelho gang. The raid, known as Operation Containment, left 121 people dead, including 4 police officers and 2 teenagers, and 99 suspects were taken into custody. The raid also failed to arrest and killed senior figures in the Commando Vermelho gang that investigators say is headquartered in the neighborhoods the police raided. The main leader of the gang, Edgar Alves de Andrade, known as Doca, remains at large. One mid-level gang leader was detained without a shot fired, according to the police report. The findings challenge the official account of the raid carried out in 2 densely populated working-class neighborhoods. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Let's join Delvin Neblett for HGP's Sports Pods.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Monday, November 10, 2025. The National Sports Commission held their annual sports awards at the Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center in Georgetown on Saturday. Awards were presented in a wide range of categories for outstanding performances in 2024. Ghana's top striker Omari Glasgow won the prestigious Sportsman of the Year award as bodybuilder Nicholas Albert was the runner-up. Senior squash pair of Nicolette Finance and Ashley Khalil received the Senior Sportswoman of the Year award and runner-up awards respectively, while the Junior Male and Female Sportsman of the Year awards went to Malachi Austin and Atalia Hinkson, with runners-up Kaiden Prasad and Tiana Springer. For persons with disabilities, the Sportsman and Woman awards went to table tennis player Gibran Safaraz and chess player Abigail Jairam, as cricket coaches Ryan Hercules and Tremaine Smart won both the Male and Female Coach of the Year awards. Ghana's national squash team received the award for the Team of the Year. The Association of the Year award went to the Ghana Basketball Federation, while bodybuilding's Vitish Sukram and netball's Eileen Bowman-Joseph won the Male and Female Official of the Year awards respectively. Jemima Holmes of the Ghana Times won the Print Sports Journalist of the Year award, with Eric Collymore winning the award for Non-Print Sports Journalist of the Year. Newsroom's Avinash Ramsan won the award for the Broadcast Sports Journalist of the Year. Moving into football, the Ghana Football Federation hosted the official check presentation ceremony for Season 7 of the Ghana Football Federation's Elite League at the National Training Center in Providence on Friday. Celebrating the top 4 clubs in the league for 2025 as well as standout individual performers, the presentation of prize money led by GFF General Secretary Pushparga Chattopadhyay awarded $2 million to reigning champion Slingers FC, while second place Ghana Police Force FC received $1.2 million, with $800,000 going to third place GDF. Fourth place Western Tigers earned themselves $400,000. Individual prizes went to the 2025 Most Valuable Player Daron Niles of Slingers FC, who received $150,000, while the Ghana Police Force FC's Naron Barrow received $100,000 for scoring the most goals in Season 7. The best goalkeeper in the league, Slingers FC's Akil Clark, was also presented with $100,000, as the prize of $75,000 for the best young player was presented to Malcolm Hendricks of Santos FC. More in football, action resumed in the Ghana Football Federation's Division 1 Women's League 2025 with 2 fixtures at the National Training Center in Providence on Friday. The first match was a thumping 9-0 victory for the mainstay Gold Stars over Den Amstel on the back of hat-tricks from both Ashley Koja and Annalisa Robinson. Kenisha Blake, Nessa Samuels and Denise Williams also scored 1 goal each in a winning effort. In match number 2, Santos FC secured a commanding 3-0 victory over Riversview United FC, as Riversview scored an own goal and Afina Baptiste netted a brilliant double. Moving into golf, the 2025 Banks Beer Cup Golf Tournament was played at the Lusignan Golf Club on Sunday. Winning in the ladies category was Dr. Joanne Dio with a gross score of 48 and a net score of 41 with a handicap of 7. On the senior side, Mark Lashley recorded a gross score of 47 and a net score of 34 with a handicap of 13 to secure a well-deserved victory. On the men's side, Mike Mangal with a handicap of 4, Farouz Barakat with a handicap of 4, and Raj Misir with a handicap of 11 won first, second, and third respectively for the overall best net scores of 31, 32, and 34. Other individual prizes went to Richard Hanif for the longest drive and Jaipal Suknanan for nearest the pin. And finally, in cricket, New Zealand lead the West Indies 2-1 heading into the 5th and final T20 International on Wednesday. The Kiwis put themselves ahead in the keenly contested series after securing a 9-run victory in the 3rd T20 International on Friday. Winning the toss and batting first, New Zealand reached 177 for 9 off their allotment of 20 overs on the back of a well-played half-century from Devon Conway. Darren Mitchell added 41 as both Matthew Ford and Jason Holder picked up 2 wickets. When the Windies responded, they were bowled out for 168 in 19.5 overs. Romario Shepherd top scored with 49 from 34 and Shamar Springer added 39 from 20. As player of the match, Ish Sodi picked up 3 for 34 and Jacob Duffy picked up 3 for 36 in a winning effort. Match number 4 on Sunday was a no result as the Windies batting first after being sent in reached 38 for 1 from 6.3 overs before the Rains interrupted play without any further action taking place in the match. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblet reminding you to stay in the game.
Dossier handed over to the court in the AZRUDDIN and NAZAR MOHAMED extradition hearing. Fallen heroes remembered. President calls for global unity in defense of peace. Guyana is not the place for drug trafficking business, says Home Affairs Minister ONEIDGE WALROND. plight facing industry plaisance market vendors to be addressed very shortly, says Minister MANICKCHAND. And in sport, hosts New Zealand lead West Indies 2-1 in 5-match T20 series. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.